the man that cannot be stopped. Marathon has been synonymous with endurance since ancient times. Officially adopted distance of 42 kilometers 195 meters came from Gerodot Chronicle, narrowing a story of a warrior named Fitipit, who died having run this very distance from Boru Marathon to Athens to bring message of victory over Persians to his countrymen. However, in full version of Gerodot's Chronicle, Fitipit has ran 238 kilometers to Sparta, came back, took part in 6 hours battle under Marathon, was wounded, and after that brought victory message to Athens. Thus, in 3 days he covered more than 500 kilometers. Experts believe that this is a myth. However, in 1983, Greek Yanis Kouros proved that running part of this story is not supernatural to a man. Ordinary morning for this man begins in Galassiyevsky Park in Kiev. Warming up and 1 hour of running doesn't seem like anything unusual, just trying to stay fit. It's his way of preparing to an exam that is hard to imagine, don't even mention passing it. Every year this guy participates in the most complex and longest race in the world. In 2 months he covers distance of 3,100 miles or 5,000 kilometers. It's impossible to start in such a race without long and careful preparation. The way to the world's longest race took our hero 23 years of sports, including training under the guidance of Lyubov Sobolovskaya, Olympic champion in ski races.
In secondary school I did figure skating and swimming, but then everything came to the point when my mother brought me to a ski racing class, and I loved it so much, in spite of broken ski on my second training, that for many years it became my main passion in sport.
As Forrest Gump, Oleg Lebedev is running constantly, training in the morning. If some obstacles prevented it, running is postponed till evening time after full working day as a bank employee. At weekends, running sessions for many hours. This became day-to-day necessity for the body and sincere inspiration of Oleg. There is no sport necessity behind it.
This brushes me, as I say. After my morning running, I am ready for the normal and full life. It's easy for me to lead meetings and to go through city life.
For many years, there were stereotypes that marathon is for very few sportsmen. Late 70s made running more popular. Along with this, interest to running for long distances also increased. Many amateur marathons came into existence. Slow running with the speed 8-10 km per hour got the name jogging. It's jogging that made amateur running grow into ultra running.
Studying in Moscow Institute for Physics and Technology, I ran my first marathon in 2:46. Time is not bad, considering that it was my first attempt. I had good preparation, ski training during winter time, and it seemed to me so easy. I immediately put my next goal to 2:40 and 2:35, because I did not experience the wall that marathon runners typically have to go through on 37-38 k. After that, I ran marathons in different cities, in Berlin, Košice, Poland, but could not transcend my first time of 2:46.
In classical marathons, Oleg came up to famous Berlin Marathon, one of the most prestigious marathons on the planet. World and Olympic champions, while running through the streets of German capital, always try to set a new record.
I liked Berlin Marathon very much. It was organized quite well. The road is a very flat lap. Therefore, many top sportsmen choose Berlin Marathon for new records. I was running with my father, and the most interesting thing, he came before me. He is now 65 years old. There, during the marathon, I was also determined to transcend my previous record and started in the first wave of fast runners. Until 35 k, almost everything went well. But then legs became heavier and heavier, and I caught myself on admiring the view rather than concentrating on the race. And there, at 37K, my father caught up with me and said, "Come with me." But I already could not. He took over me 5K before the finish.
Oleg's father ran Moscow International Peace Marathon in 1990, and that inspired the son. Later, he felt inspiration for long-distance running and hunger for challenges. He ran 47-mile race 8 times and won it in 2002. Then 13-hour race. During this time, the Forrest Gump from Kiev has covered 105 kilometers. Then multi-day race in New York, in comparison with which all previous distances could be compared with the walking to the closest kiosk.
Road of this race is a lap in living block in Queens, New York. We are running at sidewalk. Police try to prevent people from disturbing the runners. We have loop at our disposal since 6 a.m. till midnight, 18-hour working day. During these 18 hours, we are trying to do as much as we can. Tomorrow is the next start, and the day after tomorrow, and even after 1 month. You just cannot see the finish line.
Our hero is the only one from former Soviet Union who has finished such a race for 3 times. 3,100 miles is a distance from Pacific to Atlantic coast of USA or from Irkutsk to Moscow. Runners have to cover about 100 km daily for 51 days without weekends.
I saw my finish just from the first day of the race. I felt that I could do it. I saw my finish with stretched hands. I didn't know when, but I felt that I would finish.
In New York's super race there is no commercial benefit. Organizers provide food, medical and technical assistance. Everything else is paid by ourselves. Unpaid vacations for 2 months, 16 pairs of running shoes, since concrete of the largest city in the USA devours 1 pair of shoes in 5 days. There are enough expenses. Ukrainian runner spends from $2,000 to $5,000 depending whether to travel alone or with wife and daughter as helpers. It's very hard without close people on the race. From first glance, it's not clear what is the motivation that pulls Oleg for such an endless adventure with risk to health. Why to spend money earned with hard work for exhausting marathon, where other odd fellows are running the blocks of crazy megapolis? Why spend so much time on regular trainings where there is no sport dream ahead, glow of medals and podiums? Answer is the spiritual conviction. Oleg, or Stutisheel, as he is called by his friends, is a follower of a teaching of an Indian master, Sri Chinmoy.
Spiritually established life is not an easy task, but materially satisfied life is an impossible task.
Synthesis of explosive dynamism of sport and spiritual life drew attention of student Oleg Lebedev to the exotic teaching 15 years ago. He had been doing sports even earlier, but since that time he has been running for experiences during long races, covering thousands of kilometers in Galateevsky Park, America, elsewhere.
I simply try to do as much as I can at this very moment. What is coming to me, okay, if it is my dream, I accept it. Maybe one day I will run around the globe.
Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations.